All right. As Pat said, I should probably get close to the microphone. Yeah. I'm the CTO. I'm the technical guy, so I'm not the sales guy. So we'll probably get into a little bit more technical how things work behind the scenes, but I'll also try to keep you entertained a little bit. So this is a different kind of presentation. Hopefully you'll enjoy. Similar to what John from Alfresco said, Ephesoft's goal was also revolutionize the document imaging marketplace with a new kind of product, new kind of technology. So I think we've been very successful. Our US operations are, as well as the European operations, are going very well. We have a lot of happy customers, but I'm not going to talk about those. So let's talk about the past, future, and present, and the future, about the capture and how we affect the ECM market, that ECM enterprise capture market, content management market. So before we start, let's do a survey. You know, these days, technology is changing so fast. We have to keep up, and that's kind of the theme of my presentation. We used to have, I used to have a lot of BlackBerries, right? Everyone had BlackBerries, and how many have BlackBerries? How many people have BlackBerries right now? All right. I know you're embarrassed, the rest of you, but you know, now in a few years, now everyone has iPhone. Probably. Can I see hands? How many people have iPhones here? Wow. Yes. And how many have iPhone 5? Look at you. Very nice. Raise their hand very proudly that they wear it on the line. So how many people have the Star Trek communicator? Me too. So I'm expecting pre-orders, so you can email me. You know, once I have it, I'll get it back to you. So now things are changing a lot. And the technology is the answer to a lot of problems we have. And if you don't change it, if you don't grow your business with the technology, you're going to die as an organization, as a business. So you need to be out looking at the new technologies and see how you can improve your business processes at all times. And that's our goal here, to improve the business process as quickly as we can with the tools that we provide. Now, for organizations, it's all about information and access to the information. This is where enterprise content management also comes, to be able to make the information accessible and shared by the employees. That's the bottom line for organizations, and that's what we focus on, because our software is enterprise content management, or enterprise document capture software, right? So some information is in the ERP systems, of course. This is very important information. That's why people pay a lot of money to SAP and Oracle Financials, right? But that's not our focus, even though there are a lot of things here. And the next one is the knowledge that the employees hold within an organization. As you can imagine, this is a massive information, and it's own universe, in my opinion, because the experiences, the knowledges that comes with the talking to each other, a lot of information is stored there. Of course, we're not going to get into that today because we don't have enough time for that universe. So let's move on and see if we can find the things that we can manage. Repositories. You remember this morning, City and County Denver said that they had 14 repositories. I think IDC research said that on average, companies do have about 8 repositories within their companies, within their organizations. That's a huge number. And people have a lot of stuff, and it's everywhere. But this is the information that we need to manage. And hopefully the new tools, such as Alfresco, will help those manage. And then There's other kinds of information, the emails, the text and the blogs and the portals. It's everywhere. You know what ADD is, attention deficit disorder. So that's where it's coming from, because all this information is making us dizzy. And then we have lots of documents. Now, these images are not from 20 years ago. These are real live problems that companies have. And there are a lot of information here. And not just physical document, but many companies receive faxes. Even though we have now electronic faxes, when the fax comes into a TIFF file or a JPEG file, it is still the document. Even though it's not physical, someone needs to look at it and make a decision and see how that information can be utilized. That was a disaster photo but it's okay. And the information is everywhere. So of course, CEO is on the top level, IT guys at the basement somewhere. But everyone needs information. Everyone needs to share the information, and business processes and repositories are helping us do that. But again, we need to attack where the problems are, where we can save money and grow with the technology. And the final one is the workflow, the business processes or the case managements. Companies receive a lot of information. Like, let's say an insurance company may receive claims, may receive letters complaining about their service, maybe letters say, I moved and please change my address, update my records, a lot of information. And everything goes through workflow. With the workflow, with the approval processes, you manage it, which is fine. But we need to do better. And that's what Ephesoft is trying to do with the sort of documents that we receive. So let's talk about Ephesoft and the core of this presentation. I'd like to share with you the history of document capture, what we do, how the software is evolved. So we're going to talk about the past, today, and tomorrow. Even though tomorrow's tools are already developed by us, but we would like everyone to enjoy them as soon as possible. So let's focus on the old stuff. The document capture is not new. It's been around for a while. And we, of course, had to embrace those and provide those tools to our customers as they were. What are these things? So you go to an organization and they scan a lot of pages, a lot of documents, and you need some kind of automation. So you put barcode stickers, and they enter a lot of data, like say invoices or credit card application forms. You enter those data. So Ephesoft adapted these and put into the application. Even though these are 80s, we still have them. And this business is not going away either. This is a recent study that 55% of the companies scan their documents and manually enter the data still. We need to address this, and we did. So to give you an idea what's traditional document capture is, it's form processing. You probably all filled out forms with tax forms where you enter the amount or the social security number to a certain area on the document. And like IRS gets them, a lot of them, right? And the insurance companies or the banks or other companies may get versions of these. So the software is designed to capture these values. And then we put barcode sheets. So let's say you have 300 different document types in an insurance company or a bank. Every document that you receive needs to be identified and goes to different department or person to be handled. So in the old days, people put separate sheets between every document and scan them in with fast scanners so that they can automate the process. But that's not really good automation. We're going to cover that soon. I remember seeing a customer where they called the carpenter, they built out this massive organizer with 300 different barcode sheets in the organization, the operators would look at the document. Okay, this is this barcode sheet and this is that barcode sheet, and put them on and scan them in. So again, we still support that, but I think there are better ways to do it. And regarding the handwriting or filled out forms, you basically tell the software, okay, look at this zone, look at this area, capture the information as much as you can, so I don't have to have 20 people entering this data. Instead of 20 people, I can have 5 people entering the data. It's all about automating the process and giving efficient to the organization. So again, this is AD software. It's all barcode-based, half automation, client-server environments like Documentum. It's all Fresco. But we had other companies anyway. So let's talk about today, what we do today, what Ephesoft provides. And this is the kind of new ways of automating your business processes. So this slide is designed to scare you. I did it on purpose. Don't be scared. This is just to show you that we worked hard to build Ephesoft platform. It's not something we built in 1 month. There are a lot of things going on here. You'll see we generate XML and PDF outputs, and then we work with CMS integrations, and we can import documents from scanners, emails, or MFPs or mobile phones. Let's forget all that. I'd like to focus today on 2 items, the classification and extraction, and hopefully I'll give you the picture of how Ephesoft automates things and then makes the process better. So in classification is all about eliminating the barcode sheets and eliminating those huge organizers to find out what the documents are. And I'm going to give you a glimpse. I'm going to actually show you our secret sauce. Now, I'd like you to be very discreet about this, because this is the intelligence that we have in our software. I don't want you to tell this to anyone else. Okay? So this is our secret. Even though the secret was revealed a few years ago in a movie, but no one caught it. That no one knows this is our technology, our intelligence. So let me put the microphone in so you can hear it too. What happened?
It's still secret.
Somebody must have a smartphone now.
I think we have that glitch. Let's try it again. Oh, it is playing. Where is it playing? Let's get my computer. Oh, it's. Oh, there you go. This is how we classify and sort documents. The question is, how many arms do you have?
Just about everybody works in the post office as an alien.
There you go. So, if you see smoke coming out of your computers that Ephesoft is installed, don't panic. So it's the intelligence that we have behind the scenes that's going on, okay? So, and then please don't share this one with anyone else. Now, let's move on to extraction. In extraction, we do things a little differently than what AD software did. In AD software, we focused on the area and then we captured it. Now, it's more like humans, or ETs, but it doesn't matter. We look at the document and we try to find the words or the phrases, such as invoice number. We look at everywhere and find where the invoice pound sign is. Once we find that, then we look at to the right of it, to the below it, and capture the data. Now it's more intelligent because we can receive invoices from hundreds of different vendors, but we can still find the invoice number on those documents, regardless of the vendors that they're sending. Make sense? Same thing goes with other documents, or such as order amount. But we can also find now the patterns. Can anyone tell me what this pattern looks like?
Social Security.
Social Security number. That's right. So we can also do it without the context. We can look at the patterns in the document. Let's say someone sent you an email, said, here's my Social Security number, update my records, and I want to add more services. We can find that data wherever it is on the document, whichever page it is, and boom. So we are now more intelligent on finding the data on the documents. And same thing goes with the database. So we have technologies, I'm not going to get into the technical, but we can match the document content with the database that you have automatically. So if a fax comes in, we analyze the document. Let's say you have a customer database. We can match that document to the database record and know immediately who sent that document. Very powerful stuff. That's the intelligence. Now, let me give you an example and show you actually how this works. Now, in this example, we're going to take one of the samples, address change form. This company, Acme Insurance, will receive an email or fax. And this email is coming from John Doe, and it says, I moved to my new home, please update my records. And we receive also a fax transmission that says, I'm Jane, changed my apartment, here's my new address, please update your records. This is as simple as it gets, right? This company will probably have hundreds of different document types, different business processes, but let's focus on this one. Ephesoft can read the content and classify both of these documents as address change request without human intervention. That's the power. So we can, by giving Ephesoft a few samples, in most cases we've given only one or two samples, Ephesoft knows the words and phrases that this document type uses. So then it automates the classification part, if you will, so that the document is identified immediately. And we can go one step further and look at the account numbers and the names and the phone numbers and see if these phone numbers match in our database automatically and find who sent this document, say John Doe from California living in Beverly Hills, for example. Then the automation is much easier. Remember that workflow that we had, the address change form came and then someone forwarded to someone else and approval came? We can skip all those steps. And that's how we make the workflows and the business process more efficient. We eliminate the manual steps. I need water. And this is your time to ask questions if you like. If you don't have questions, that's fine too.
After being too clear.
Mm-hmm. So, how do we do it? This is how. A document comes in, Ephesoft looks at the content and says, okay, this is address change form. And then Ephesoft can also say, okay, by looking at the content, I also captured the social security number or the phone number, and using that I was able to go to the database and found out that John Doe from California sent this, and here's the account number. There are, of course, cases where Ephesoft is not perfect, because when I write email to my insurance company, I might say, hey, this is a complaint letter. I'm complaining about your service. You guys suck. But by the way, change my address. So there are cases where, Ephesoft won't be able to figure it out what this guy is saying or which department we should forward this to. So in those cases, there are exception handling, of course, that we built in. So the goal is not to maybe eliminate the operators completely, because we always need the human intelligence. But if we can automate the most of the work, then instead of having 100 people, we can have maybe 10. Okay, and why do we do it? This is the real reason Ephesoft started. This is the reason why we do this, because we can make the business process better and give our clients the ROI that they need as soon as possible. Hopefully within months, not years. Make sense? Now, if you want to learn more about it, you can buy our book. This presentation will continue in a moment. So that was today. Let's look at what's up for tomorrow. Okay. Now, I should tell you that when I say tomorrow, it's your tomorrow, because everything we'll be discussing here was actually released by Ephesoft about 2 months ago. So we're one step ahead of you once again, right? We thought about this, we put in the product, we released it 2 months ago. Now it's for our clients, for you to implement these technologies and get the benefits. Now, Ephesoft Cloud is here. I'm not going to talk much about it. I think everyone is bombarded about the benefits of cloud. Everyone knows it. So you just know that it's there. So Ephesoft was built entirely on a web-based user interface and cloud-ready platform. So here you go. You have it. Go get it. Let's talk about the APIs. Now, up until 2 months ago, to improve your business process, you had to get Ephesoft and put in front of your workflow system, your business process, so that we can skip maybe first 2 or 3 or 5 steps, so that the business process gets better. Now, why can't we have that in the middle? And also, why can't we have the intelligent document capture utilized by the existing workflow systems, the business processes or case management? Because whether it's homegrown or not, you've invested a lot in your business process and it's working. You just need to improve it a little. And that's where the APIs come in. So let's say a new case comes in, whether it's an address change or complaint, or maybe an accident report for this insurance company. Now, it needs to come to decision. Normally, you would put a person here that says, okay, this document is going to go to this way or that way. But now, you can ask Ephesoft with programming, of course. That's where Zia comes in, right? They can program it to your tool so that the workflow itself asks Ephesoft, what is this document type? I don't need a human to look at it. I can ask Ephesoft, and Ephesoft will answer, this is an address change letter. And then the workflow can ask, who sent this? Ephesoft will say, John Doe from California with this account number sent this. As you can see, the workflow can be integrated into our application, so that you can give the intelligence to your business process, and thus reducing time and increasing the efficiency. Does this make sense? We are basically enabling your software to be more intelligent on the documents that you receive. Now, this is what we do, and you're gonna say what solutions you can create. Every company does different things with Ephesoft, of course, but these tools help a lot of companies in various ways. I'm gonna drink some water here, but whether it's background data processing or patient records or accounts payable, invoice processing, wherever the documents is, that's where we are to save you time, money, and improve the business process. Okay? We're not sleeping, are we? Are we reading? Okay. Now, when Zia, Pat asked me to make this presentation, they also wanted me to talk about the day after tomorrow, what Ephesoft is working on, what we're going to have in the future. Because everything we talked about here till now, we already have it. But before that, let me show you a case study. This is one of our customers. They do a loan origination at a small shop. They probably do like 400 loans a week, I think. Yeah, some small shop. And then each loan probably have about 500 to 2,000 pages that people sign and return and a bunch of stuff. So they used to have barcode stickers. They really nailed this down. Instead of big, gigantic organizer, they had barcode sheets printed like labels, like this big labels. And everyone had a bunch of labels with 300 different barcodes. So they would look at a document, okay, this one is appraisal. I'm going to go find my barcode and stick on it. And this one is, let's say, W-2 form, and go find the barcode and put on the document and then scan them all in. We changed all that. We told them to get a sample from every document, given Ephesoft, learn Ephesoft, and then now they scan everything without looking at it. And Ephesoft looks at the contents and classifies and separates all these 250 document types. And that's it. And if we can't figure out anything, because this was, let's say, a contract or lease agreement from some remote state, and Ephesoft will ask the user what that is. So they had 6 people, now they have 2. And last year they grown double, and they still have 2 people. This is what I'm talking about growing your business with technology. Technology is the answer, in my opinion. So this is the day after tomorrow stuff. So today, I don't think we're as intelligent as we can be. What needs to happen, and that's what we are working on, is artificial intelligence. We need to learn these documents as they come in. We need to look after the employees, how they are reacting, how they're classifying documents, and then give that feedback to Ephesoft to learn more so that we can actually improve the business process everywhere, not just in the beginning. Ephesoft will be the engine to make decisions for your workflows in business processes. And this is really not far-fetched. This guy used an artificial intelligence. It was developed about 40 miles from our office in Pasadena. So it is possible, and that's what we think as well. So that's the day after tomorrow stuff. That hold on to your seats. We're coming. Now, if you have any other questions, I would love to answer, but this was my presentation. So 2 questions. That wasn't a victory. That was 2 questions. So go ahead, please.
Actually, I have 2 questions. First one is, how do you get the documents in? Do you have mass scanning and so forth? How do you digest all the documents?
Yeah.
And then the second one, how do you handle scanning errors when documents are scanned together, or
Yes.
in the wrong orientation or something like that?
Very good questions. So the first one is we do have web-based scanning. In most cases, our clients will have documents coming in and they scan them. So we drive the scanners. We use a technology called Twain to drive them. So we have customers utilizing small scanners on their desks or very high-speed scanners. I think one of them is 300 images per minute, and they scan to Ephesoft. And then when
sending it to your
cloud or in on-premise. So Ephesoft, we just came up with the cloud, but it was always been on-premise application. So they scan to their Ephesoft, and then we take it from there and process it. But these days, a lot of documents are also coming electronically. Like these mortgage customers that we have, they exchange files with PDFs. But when they send a 200-page PDF with 10 documents in it, they don't tell you which one is what. So we import the PDFs and separate out the pages, and then by looking at each page, and we can decide, okay, the first 10 pages is appraisal, following 3 pages is a tax form, etc., etc. So that's the scanning. The next question was
error handling.
Error handling. So the web scanner has a user interface. So when you scan them in, it shows you all the pages, thumbnails. So if there's any problem, you can just say, I want to rescan this page because it was flipped on the scanner, etc. But you also mentioned the R rotation, the orientation. So the engines we use can look at the document, even if it's upside down, can find out that, okay, the characters are upside down, I'm going to turn this document automatically. So that's another automation that we provide. If the documents come upside down, like faxes always come upside down, we turn them up without any human intervention. Go ahead. Ladies
I was
first.
just going to ask about performance indicators. What kind of performance can you expect? Say in a batch scanning mode from Ephesoft to
So that is very difficult to answer because it changes from customer to customer.
But what have you seen like so far? What's
Can you repeat the question?
I'm sorry. Okay. The question is, I need to repeat the question. What is it? Is performance indicators. So help me answer this question. You guys implement the
Performance indicators is as according to like how many.
well, say a standard setup. Do you have a standard recommended setup from
So that standard recommended setup is going to be determined by your specific requirements. So those requirements might be, we need high availability. You may be that you have very distributed processing. So that might actually lead to a different architecture where you have people that are very disparate locations and there's not a lot of bandwidth between them to get these very large TIFF or PDF images back and forth. And then there's, of course, the volume of information, which is how many pages am I trying to process through Ephesoft, which is going to be an indicator. And then there's another one, which is around what's my internal SLA. When I receive a document, what kind of document it is, and how fast do I need to push that document out. Because even though we might create an architecture that says, okay, you can handle this many million pages per year, it might not mean that because these particular documents need to be processed in that given day. And that you do all your scanning in the morning, then you push everything in, and by 5 o'clock they all have to be pushed out. And so all of those are indicators in like how you scale that system. That's where the variability resides.
So I'll give you 2 perspectives. One is the classification of the documents. You can implement Ephesoft very quickly and then have the documents classified, and you can reduce the manual labor cost, for example, 6 to 2, like the one I gave you. Very powerful. The other side is the extraction. If your requirements are based on extracting data, such as order processing, you have hundreds of orders coming in, and you have 20 employees just to enter them into your ERP system. Ephesoft can automate those within a month or so, maybe like 3-month project, and that 20 people who's entering the data takes, let's say, 6 hours to enter all the data. Now you can reduce that to minutes with 5. If that makes sense.
So we gave completely different answers, so I think we heard the question incorrectly. So
No,
did we have- did either of those-
I'm hearing, like, I'm kind of hearing sort of fuzziness around.
Well,
It is.
It's going to be dependent on document size, processing time. I mean, it's one of those things where it's going to vary between clients. You know, storage documents 500 pages or 600 pages, or or I'm scanning 10 documents that look identical. So you're going to have to figure out like the concurrency, document size. There's just a lot of considerations. That's probably a great reason to consider that cloud offering, because I'm assuming it's dynamically scalable and you just throw as much
Yes.
these resources at it as possible. You don't want to get into the design consideration piece.
So
But-
is the performance tuning part of support that?
Yes, but the reason we are hesitating giving you this is this number, that number, because everything is fuzzy. Every customer is a little different. But we do a lot of performance tuning based on your documents. So that's where you get the benefit of engaging with the system integrators.
It also depends on the hardware that's running on. And
Well,
so,
yeah, I know.
and all this other.
We've gone through this with all first.
So the rule of thumb that we had, the rule of thumb that we come up with is that 4 cores processes between 3 and 5 million pages a year.
Yep.
And to be clear, remember that's 24/7.
Yeah, that's part of that SLA. How do people work?
Right.
Are you a 5-day-a-week shop? So it's all around your specific needs that we tailor the system to fit those requirements.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. No?
So what is the general accuracy range of typewritten information on intelligence capture? Assuming some degree of fielded information.
Yes. I'm going to make some assumptions on my answer. For classification, I'd say about 80 to 90% accuracy. But to eliminate the false positives, we make sure we reduce that a little bit so that we provide like 70% accuracy so that the 30% can be handled by the users. On the extraction side, generally it's above 80%. But if you have databases that you can attach to it, then you can improve it better. But if you say most of my documents are coming from faxes that are very low quality, and then that number will decrease. So those are the guidelines that I give, but it really depends on the documents and where they're coming on and how quality they are. Yes?
How much of the customer base is classification and how many is extraction? How's it being used?
We really shine on classification. So I'd say 60%, maybe 65% is on classification. And then the others are on the extraction. And then majority of the extraction piece also goes to accounts payable, like invoice capture stuff. But mostly classification. Yes?
When you say classification and when you showed like the 2 different emails and the fax, do you have a linguistics engine, or are you just basically hard coding what is new address versus moved to an apartment?
It's not hard coding at all. So when you specify your document types that you're going to receive into your organization, the address changes one form, application form is another form. You just give 1 or 2 examples and tell Ephesoft to learn the content of it. So we are not configuring any words or phrases. You're just letting the Ephesoft learn the content. If something comes out of the blue, Ephesoft will ask the user what this is. What is this? I don't know. But it's not hard coding or configuring word by word. You just give some samples and forget about it. The mortgage company that I mentioned in the case study, it took 15 minutes to explain how the system works. It took 3 days for them to put the samples in, and I think they say they are getting high 90% accuracy rates.
So in that case, when you say you have an exception, can Ephesoft learn from that human interaction?
Yes.
Make it better in the future when that same exception goes out?
Yes, you can, but based on experience that we had early on, we disabled that. The reason is that don't get don't get offended now, but the humans do actually make mistakes. This is about 5% to 7% mistakes. So when they make mistakes on those exceptions, it actually affects Ephesoft, because if you tell Ephesoft to learn incorrect stuff, it actually makes it even worse. So that's why we're making administrators to look at those. So the administrators make sure that this is that document.
That's going to be a cue, perhaps, for somebody that has an administrator change their workflow or do something.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Another question: how many languages do you support for classification?
So the language question is in two ways. I think the content we can read, and also what your user interface supports, right? So regarding the content, we utilize OCR engines. So OCR reads the document. We have two engines. One of them is RicoStar. I think 35, 40 languages it supports. 55, thank you.
Latin-based.
Yeah. In Tesseract, I think it supports a lot more than that, and on top of it, you can train it. So if you're talking Latin that is forgotten, if you like, you can train it and then put it in the Ephesoft. And the user interface, it's all, we made it modular, so you can just go to the text files and then change the language. And I recommend Google Translator.
Oh no, don't do this.
At least it's humorous.
So we do provide some out of the box, and our partners in France and Italy, I think Brazil, they all made their own versions of the language. Not everyone wants to call a batch, a document, for some reason. All right, I think this is it. Thank you for your time. I hope you liked it.